or other
somewhere out there.
Jewish aphorisms. Okay, let's see. Here we go. It begins in 3, 2, 1. Coming up on TMS, Scott has a crazy theory about Big Hero 6.
What can you learn from people at the movies?
Action games make us smarter.
Man gets a shovel up his hoo-ha.
Robin and Ben, not a thing anymore.
Injuries that stayed in the picture.
Therapy Thursday.
Your emails and more on this episode of The Morning Stream.
Well, there they go again.
I hear Wendy sold millions of hot stuffed baked potatoes last year.
Yeah, and we didn't sell any.
We didn't have any.
Yeah.
Only Wendy's has hot stuffed baked potatoes with chili and cheese and so many other delicious toppings.
I sure wish we'd thought of baked potatoes.
Boy, I feel like a clown.
How do you think I feel?
Hot stuffed baked potatoes for Wendy's kind of people.
I forgot the flowers.
Sit down and listen, punk. This is The Morning Stream.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to TMS, the morning stream for Thursday, November 13th, 2014. It's 8:07 a.m. in the Mountain Time Zone, the only time zone that matters. It's me, Scott Johnson, Tim Brian Ibbett.
Hello.
Hey, when's your flight?
It's going to be one of two time zones that matter for me today.
That's true. When do you fly to the one that's earlier than us?
My flight leaves at about 1 o'clock.
Oh, so you've, I don't want to presume here, but I'm guessing you've got a very busy TMS to 1 o'clock schedule. Like, you're going to have to be hauling ass because you got to leave.
Yeah,
like
because I like to get to the airport at least an hour and a half before the flight, just in case.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm going to eat lunch out there. And, so driving to the airport in this weather, it is 5 degrees below zero out here. I'm sure it's cold there, too, because there's this whole swath of the U.S.
What has happened? What hath we wrought that would cause such cold so fast, so quickly?
You want to know? I'll tell you what it is.
Explain it, a meteorologist, Ibbett.
Winter is coming.
Oh, shit! The White Walkers and the
That's right.
Oh,
yes.
man, I hadn't realized it was coming this soon. I've been so busy here at the Red Keep acting like a butthole in my giant chair made of swords, I hadn't realized. I mean, I thought that was all just a bunch of rumor up there in the north.
Yeah, no.
Damn it.
That's true.
Those guys on the wall just dicking around. I'm feeling a little salty today. I'm going to admit it right
That's
now.
Fine. You know, that's...
Listen, Brian...
TMS is good with a little salt.
Is it? Okay. A little... Not too much, though. We're trying to take care of our heart-healthy TMS.
That's right.
Brian, I've got some news for you here.
Okay, give me some news.
Here you go. And by the way, that doesn't mean because Brian's traveling we won't have a PM edition. We will. He'll be at a hotel, and we'll be talking tonight.
That's right.
Normal
I'll have
time.
to try it. I got a headset mic I want to try out with you after we're done here. So.
Oh, lovely. All right. Well, we'll check that out.
You ready for that?
Hey, look, any time that I can spend not enjoying World of Warcraft today is just fine with me. Okay? I mean, anything else, obviously I want to be doing that than playing WoW. So if I can help test your headset, hey, if there's anything else that we can do, like I'm going to ask Kim, can I go do some more leaves? Can I rake some leaves today? Because I really want to stay out of a video game that I love.
Could you work on some artwork for me? I don't care what it is. Just draw me a picture.
Well, for me, there's a little bit of work involved because we got the instance tomorrow, and I got to get going in this thing. You know.
Oh yes, this is for your show. This
right.
This is required. This isn't play.
No. This is like
This
what's
is
it like?
Content you're gathering.
Sure. I mean, even Indiana Jones had to memorize his lines. It's a terrible comparison, but
That was a really horrible. I don't even know what that means.
I don't either. It's no good. Scratch it. Take it off the record. Saw Big Hero 6 last night with the kids.
Oh, fun.
And I loved it.
My God, you were a movie fiend this week.
I saw the Interstellar and that. And, of course, they're on my movie draft this year for the winter movie draft, so I really need to win. And I feel like these are two solid contenders for money-making. Big Hero 6 is really as awesome as you said. Yeah. I freaking loved it. My only complaint about the movie at all was not the movie's fault. It was the theater we were in. For whatever reason, the trailers were at full blast audio, sounding great, and the movie was not. It was a little quiet. which is I hate that. Not because I can't, and I got used to it, but it's the comparison of coming to summer, really loud. Right? And then the movie's like, hello, everybody. It's like a little bit less, and it just kind of bugged me.
Right.
Other than that, man, what a freaking awesome thing. But I have a dark. I've come away with a dark realization. I shared it on Twitter. I'll share it again here. Didn't even occur to me during watching it, because the whole time I'm going, I haven't seen the original comic, so I can't speak to the story. Okay. But here's what I noticed. There's this mashup. It's San Francisco and Tokyo together, right?
Right. San Francisco, Tokyo, I think is what they call it, right?
San Fransokyo, I think is what they said. I think that was it. I'm not sure. I think putting a T in there would be better, but I think they put Sokyo. But anyway, the point is it was like this mashup. So all these familiar San Francisco cultural icons and architecture and everything is there, but then lots of influence, so lots like cherry blossoms everywhere.
Right. The Bay Bridge, the San Francisco Bay Bridge is similar in its red structures, its red supports, but they have a very Asian feel to them.
Yeah, the very top of them's kind of got that big winged out sort of Japanese spire looking thing.
Looked like Mists of Pandaria is what it looked like.
Kind of did, yeah. That's funny. I had kind of the same feeling, and everything's just kind of tinged with it. Everyone looks a little Japanese American, like a little bit of mixed race going on all throughout the movie. The brother especially, like all that kind of stuff. Some of the accents were mixed in. A lot of the actors were Asian Americans. Like it was just a very weird mashup of the two cultures, and I thought that was great. I'm like, man, this is what a cool idea this is. I mean, it's more like just background texture, but it's still cool, and wow, what a neat idea. And then this morning, I wake up at 6 a.m., Brian, and it hits me. Oh my gosh. This is what the world would be like. This isn't a future, okay? This is the world today if the Empire of Japan had won World War II. That's the alternate future. Japan wins the war.
Kind of is,
beats
right?
everybody back, even beats the Axis powers, takes out Russia, takes out everybody, and now they've integrated themselves so deeply into quote-unquote American culture that our cities are slightly named more Japanese. We're very mixed in terms of heritage and culture and race and everything. That's what they did. Now, I have no confirmation of this. It may have just been for fun, like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we mix these two things? But it just occurred to me, what if Japan won World War II? We'd have San Fransokyo, or however they called it. It'd be amazing. Anyway.
Yeah, that is an interesting thought. Wow. You know what? I came away thinking, because again, this is right after 2 days at BlizzCon, right?
Yeah.
I came away thinking, wow, the gal with the wheels on her shoes.
Oh yeah,
a lot like Tracer in Overwatch.
Yeah, a lot.
The enemy, a lot like the Reaper in Overwatch.
Yeah. That's funny because had the same feeling about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's just just the fact that we had just seen and played all that stuff, and now we're sitting here kind of like, this that kind of has a similar feel. Like if they were to do an Overwatch movie, this is how they could do it. This is what it could look like.
Sure, and even like just the color palette they used for these hero costumes and stuff, and all of that just totally felt very Overwatchy. Definitely in the vein, in the spirit of that. But it's awesome. What a great. It was the perfect length, yet I wanted more. Like it's one of those things where I just didn't want it to end. If they don't make a series of sequels, they're stupid. Perfect for kids, great for adults. It just was awesome, and that bad guy was the technology and that stuff at play there was so bad.
So cool, man. And the just the whole John Lasseter feel, like the whole Incredibles.
Yeah, he had his sweaty hands all over this thing. You can tell, like the story of that guy, like what was it, early 80s, late 70s, he literally gets fired from Disney because they think he's crazy because he's saying, hey man, the future's going to be in this computer stuff. We need to get better at this and we need to do these things. Yeah, whatever, Lasseter. All right, it's your last day. Take your pink slip and your box and get the hell out of town. They fire him. He is an animator at Disney who is fired. They fire John Lasseter. I just want that to sink in.
That's crazy.
He leaves. He says, well, I'm going to do this anyway. Does some amazing stuff. Blows Steve Jobs away. Gets a bunch of his money. Builds Pixar. Makes this amazing company. Disney's like, oh, well, shit.
Oh, you're pretty good. Maybe we were wrong.
I mean, but no, it's all whiskey under the bridge. Come on back, He goes back there in the Pixar arrangement, which is just they're the studio and then Pixar, Pixar's the studio, the animation studio, and Disney's the one that, they're the big studio, basically they're the publisher. And then time goes on, they realize, oh man, we really suck here with our stuff. We should have more Lasseter. Lasseter is literally head of all animation at Disney now. He runs all of it. He is executive producer on everything they put out, and it's obvious to me that he is, because you feel it. You feel his touch.
Totally on this one, yeah.
What an amazing turnaround story that is for that guy.
To go from fired to running the show.
Yeah. That's like getting fired from HP in the mailroom to running the company 10 years later.
And then becoming either H or P.
Yep, and soaking in that toner money for the rest of your life.
Right.
Anyway, I loved it. I thought it was great, and I recommend it highly. I want to know if Daryl's seen it. I think you'd really like it. He's an Incredibles fan. He should love this.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was great. Also, I learned something about people in movie theaters. And we talk sometimes, like, that's where you have your trouble,
Yeah, exactly. The movie theater tends to be my area of running into the depths of American civility and community.
Or lack thereof. And right. I usually see it at, like, Burger King or the mall or a parking lot or something.
Yes.
Well, I was in this theater yesterday, and we all sat down, and it was kind of, and it's a Wednesday night, so it's not like super packed. I mean, normal crowds, but not crazy. And it's reserved seating like usual, and we always get the ones right above the handicap seats because you can see right over it, and it's right on the bar, and you can sneak out easy if you need to.
Yep. Plus, you can stick your feet through the bar. You get extra space.
It's great. Plus, I like a big screen, so I want to have this big experience in front of me. Even IMAX, I'll sit there. But this wasn't IMAX, so we sit in there, we go in, and there's already a dude and a lady sitting in there, and so we squeech in, and it turns out the first seat is next to dude. So I'm like, well, I'll take it. I don't care. I'll sit next to dude.
Sure.
Because that's my seat I've reserved. And we got everybody with us. Taylor and Dylan went with us, and Carter and Nick and Kim. It was a big family thing. We had tacos for dinner and then went to a movie. It was awesome. So we go to this movie.
How many tacos?
I only ate one. I was smart. And it was homemade, so makes a difference. So they were fish tacos. They were amazing. Anyway, so we go. I sit down to dude, next to dude, and I hear dude lean over to his lady friend and say, I'm moving over. And I didn't say anything, but I'm like, well, what? We haven't even done anything. We're like a nice, respectful family. We're not dicks. We didn't sit down and start throwing popcorn at each other. We're not idiots here. What are you moving away from me for? And so I'm starting to get kind of like indignant and offended in my head because this guy's moving.
You don't know that that's why you moved over, do you? Well, I guess there's probably more to the story, right?
And so now we move to chapter 2 of the story.
Okay.
So about 10 minutes into the movie, he gets, and keep in mind, this entire time I've planted a stake in him saying you are a jerk because you moved away from me, right? So I've got this bad attitude. So let this be a lesson to everybody. About halfway through the movie, or not even that long, 10 minutes into the movie, he starts hacking this horrible awful cough.
Oh, geez. Okay.
To the point he had to get up and leave, and then came back later, and then throughout the movie kind of still had this cough, clearly dealing with some sort of flu or bug or cough that wouldn't go away or whatever. He moved so that he wouldn't bother me. So I figure, how often in this world, I mean, he moved like a good 2 seats over. There was no way I was going to catch his particulates unless he aimed them at me,
Right.
So how often in this world do we think someone's being a jackass?
Right. And
when
they're
really
actually being
courteous and nice. I felt really bad that I had sort of judged this guy. So it reminded me of this story. There's this old story about people in Heathrow Airport, and they both got these British butter cookies, biscuits they might call them.
This is a Douglas Adams story.
Is it?
Yeah, I want to say that I remember he was the one who actually told it when I heard about it. It was on a talk show.
Oh, so I didn't know that because I heard it at a seminar where it was super boring and lame. It was like a 7 steps to more successful people thing I was forced to go to when I worked at a company. And they didn't tell me about Douglas Adams at all. Now I'm irritated. Now I'm mad at him. Anyway, the point is, the whole thing was, two people, the guy sits down with his box of these things, and they're amazing. And he's kind of flustered because he was late for his flight, but he's flapping around with his stuff and digging in his bag, and he's like, where's my stuff? And then he looks up at on the little between seats thing, and there's those cookies laying there. Oh, I must have already put them there. That's where they went. All right, well, I'm now going to enjoy one. He reaches down, eats one of these cookies, and the guy next to him smiles at him and leans over, takes one of the cookies, eats it himself. And the guy's like, what? How can you sit there and do that? They're my cookies. You didn't even ask. I don't know who you are. What are you doing? So he eats another one. Other guy eats another one. And this goes on for a while where he just kind of eats them. But he's too embarrassed to like say anything. But at the same time, he's kind of mad. It's like, you're eating my cookies. And by the end of it all, he's getting ready to leave. And he's still just irritated. Who's this guy think he is, just eating my cookies without asking? He's making sure his bag's ready, getting ready for his flight, digs down deep into the bag and finds his thing of cookies is still in there. It's the other guy that was sharing the cookies.
That's right.
Is that the Douglas Adams story? Basically,
Yeah,
I mean, it's short.
Here's a link to the YouTube video of Douglas Adams telling the story on David Letterman in 1985.
Oh my gosh, so old late night.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat room because I have that handy.
All right, here we go.
It's like Douglas Adams apparently bought his tie at the Apple Store.
Let's find out here. I miss late night.
Hi there. In 1978, my next guest wrote a BBC radio series called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
You know, Dave's literally like 36 there.
Right, he sounds so young.
Oh, it's so weird. All right,
hey, everybody, welcome to the David Letterman Show. I'm David Letterman.
How's it going, everyone?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, because I don't understand the sense it's meant to make, and so I try to share that sense of complete bafflement and bewilderment with the readers.
I gotta watch this later. I love that. I love him. But I had no idea that was his story.
That person actually happened to was Douglas Adams, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, I'm going to call that dude that made it sound like Stephen R. Covey made it up in his sleep. Talk to him, man. All right.
Right.
Anyway, so just the lesson, what is the lesson? The lesson is don't be a jerk unless you know what's going on.
Don't assume. Yeah, exactly. You know, leave your mind open for all possibilities and don't assume that the jackass across the table is the jackass sitting there. Don't assume that the jackass across the table is the only jackass at that table.
Well, it's like what did Raylan Givens say? He says if you run into an asshole and
walk around all day, you meet one asshole, you go, oh, that guy's an asshole. You walk around all day and everybody's an asshole.
Then you're the asshole. It's such a great line. Oh my gosh, I'm behind on that show. I need to catch up. It's Stump a Trek Nerd, and it's brought to
robots, artificial intelligence, unique characters as well as post-singularity speculation. These are the ingredients of The Life Engineered, a sci-fi novel by J.F. Dubow. Go to jfdubow.com/books for a preview. The full novel will be released for free on November 18th at Amazon. That is jfdubeau.com/books.
Awesome. Yeah, dude, do go check that out. Dubow, by the way, D-U, for those who don't know, D-U-B-E-A-U.
Yeah.
It's very... Oh, did you spell it out?
I did.
Oh, I missed you spelling it out.
You were getting Skype going.
Yeah, I was getting Daryl ready. Sure, you got to prepare him. I'm like his handler.
By the way, everybody, the spelling.
Hey, that thing that Brian already did. Daryl, are you there?
Oh, I could be.
Have you seen Big Hero 6?
No, I want to. Super bad.
Take your children and go.
Don't see Super Bad.
Hey, don't see Super Bad. Yeah. It's really, really great, and it's right up that hero. And I mean, it's not the same as and you don't want it to be, but it's not the same as The Incredibles. But it's definitely in the spirit of that, and it's got its own unique spin on it. At first, I wasn't sure I liked the soundtrack they went with, the music. I ended up being really endearing by the end. It really gets your hooks into you. It's awesome. Go see it. Waste no time and see it. Well, how's it doing in the theaters? I guess it's doing all right. Seems like the kind of movie that'll get a lot of buzz the first week, and then
seems like it. Yeah, exactly.
It's in first place currently. 56.2 million over the weekend. Let's see. They don't have new numbers since then. It's enjoying an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty damn strong. Man, who's dead inside and gave it rottens? Let's just see. Who are these horrible human beings? Here we go. Dull, derivative, and dumbfoundingly violent, says Al Alexander of the Patriot Ledger. Oh, go put a potato up your bum and enjoy your life, you wiener. All right, wow. Daryl, that was a little rough. Daryl.
Yeah.
Let's do a little Star Trek trivia. You are the Trek nerd. You come on the show, you do Star Trek trivia, and we try to stump you, but oftentimes you get it right. So far this week, you're 100%. Today, you get a chance to kill the whole week with one big, giant positive yes. Let's start with today's question, which is this. In the Next Generation episode, New Ground, Alexander... Oh, geez.
Oh, an Alexander episode.
He comes aboard the Enterprise to live with Worf. Worf signs Alexander up for school on the ship. They take a field trip and visit some weird animals. What kind of animals do they see on this field trip and later rescue when a fire breaks out? Was it a lingta, a can dipper, a gilvos, or a avafana? So it's lingta, can dipper, gilvos, or anaphana. Avafana. Avifana? Whatever.
Avafana.
It's all shitty.
Avafana.
I have it under some authority that these are all actual creatures in the Star Trek universe, so none of these are trick names.
I didn't take the toy, Dad. I didn't.
I didn't do it, Dad.
You are without honor.
You have embarrassed me and all of House Moog. All right, Daryl. I can tell you're excited. Why don't we stew on that a little bit by doing this?
Are you hungry?
Aren't you hungry?
What's a foodie?
Daniel sent us lovely chocolate confectionaries from, or confectionaries if you're from Britain, from Schneider's Sweet Shop.
Ah, confectionery.
Yeah, I think we eat the dark purple. I'm in the mood for dark purple.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I forgot. Let's see.
Because you want to travel through the dark purple to get to Draenor.
Dark chocolate, peanut butter. Mmm. I told you yesterday, the dark chocolate in these is doing me just fine. I normally don't like it, but I like it in here.
You know what I don't like about these? The
What?
bag is too loud.
It is a loud bag, yeah.
I don't use the bag. I took the bag. I've thrown the bag away. I just now have the candy out.
Jeez.
This is my
So
bag.
So the dark purple is dark chocolate and peanut butter.
Did anyone ever want to know the sound of Daryl's bag? I didn't. Yeah, dark chocolate, peanut
crinklier
butter.
than I was expecting.
See, I just said that and you missed me saying it because you were digging in a bag. See, this is what we do. Brian and I finish each other's sentences. Yeah, I just said it's dark chocolate with peanut butter in there, and then you said it again, like I did earlier with the other thing. So all I'm saying is, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. All right, you ready? We're gonna take a bite. I assume this is the same as yesterday for me because it was dark yesterday. But
Yes.
dark
Yeah, now it's
yesterday.
dark. Yesterday we had light chocolate or milk chocolate.
Give me who's a good cover band for Dark Yesterday? Who's Dark Yesterday a good cover band
Dark
for?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, I got nothing.
Oh man, Dark Yesterday.
The Evil Beatles.
My Till Tuesday cover band. There you go. Dark Yesterday.
I see where you're going with
That's
that.
not bad, right? All right.
Not bad, not bad.
Here we go. Mmm. Oh gosh.
Oh wow.
What are they trying to
That
do
is
to
like
me?
a Reese's peanut butter cup of magic.
Yeah, no. They put me off Reese's peanut butter cups. This is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real peanut butter, not that fake stuff.
Mmm. Yeah, you could put this on bread and not know you were using it. Yeah. Is that stuff they do? I mean, who knows what that stuff is in Reese's anymore?
Mm-hmm.
No way in hell it's real peanut butter. Oh, that is so good. Somebody told me the other day that the only good kind of healthy peanut butter is the kind that leaves a bunch of oil in the thing that you have to stir in when you use it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that because back in the day I'd see that and think that was gross, like it was like leaking or causing a problem. It's kind of like good yogurt does that.
I wonder what makes that good.
I don't
know. Like what it is about.
Well, they didn't put combining chemicals to make the oil mix in with the other stuff. Yeah.
So
it
it's
separates.
So it's probably the same as good yogurt because bad yogurt just looks like it's always normal mixed, right? And then if you have good yogurt, you almost kind of get that yellowy kind of liquid that congeals
Right,
at
you
the
got to
top.
stir it in at the very top. Yep.
Yeah.
But that's
and that
always
hair that grows on the top. Then you know it's really good.
Ooh, yeah, that's when you know you're
When you
cooking
got,
with
when
fire.
you got yogurt hair, then you know things are happening.
That's right. Yeah, if you think your life is slow and uneventful, get a little yogurt hair. All right, Daryl, speaking of yogurt hair, why don't we talk about some birthdays? Who's having one and I guess why are they having one?
Why are they having one?
Well, this would be Whoopi Goldberg, and she is having one because she was born 59 years ago today.
Will she celebrate by shaving her eyebrows off? Is that how she'll celebrate?
What eyebrows?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They aren't there anymore. Has she ever had them? I wonder. Were
I
they
don't
there
think
for
so.
color purple?
I think there's some medical thing she has that
really
prevents them from
Like
happening.
a very targeted alopecia.
It's focal alopecia. Let's see. I'm going to look her up. Just a photo here. Images.
I like that Google results. When you do a search for Whoopi, the first thing that comes up is Whoopi Pie and then Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, weird. What is Whoopi Pie?
And then Whoopi Cushion.
Yeah,
what is,
that would have been my number one choice.
What is Whoopi Pie?
It's like, I want to say it's like a marshmallow. It's like the moon pies, right? It's like chocolate and marshmallow between two cookies.
Oh, I like those. I wouldn't kick one out of bed. Okay,
How funny. Yeah, one of the things that you get if you just do a search for Whoopi Goldberg images, you get movies, young, and then eyebrows.
Movies, young eyebrows. Hey, I just put one in the chat room that shows she did in that movie, and she didn't have any eyebrows then either. Look at that. Must be something.
There's a lot of photos where people have drawn eyebrows on her.
Yeah, what the heck is that? I see that too. And sometimes just crudely, like MS Paint style.
Right, exactly.
Like a marker. Well, anyway.
Put this one in the chat room.
Maybe there's something up there. I don't know what's going on there. Remember when her and Ted Danson were a thing?
Yeah.
By the way.
Remember her talk show?
Nice job, whoever put... For some reason, I'm getting a lot of results with Danny Glover in them. Doesn't look like her. What's that about?
Oh, no, really?
Yeah. That's not nice. Well, anyway. The Color Purple's good. You guys seen that lately? That movie holds up.
I have not.
Hell of a movie. It's where Oprah got her big kickoff.
That's right. Not since the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. 59, pushing ye old 60. Good for her.
Yep.
She doesn't really age though. She looks the same to
not
me.
at all.
Yeah, I guess that's good for her.
We have a lot of stars where they've taken out their eyebrows, like Tyra Banks and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep. He just turned 40, by the way.
What? Leo DiCaprio is only 40?
Yep.
I thought he was older than that.
Nope. You're thinking of Brad Pitt, who's 50.
Well, I think I know the difference between Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, sir.
Well, good point. Which one was eating Gilbert's grape? Then you'll know the truth. All right, Daryl, back to the question here. We got this here, a Newground episode there with Alexander, and he's got this animal they see on this field trip, and it's one of them four I told you about, the Lincta, the canned dipper, the gilvos, or the avifauna.
This is kind of like real Star Trek animal or real...
Kind of, yeah. Except they're all Star Trek animals.
Yep.
Yeah, and in my research to look up Star Trek animals, I didn't find any of these things.
In your in-depth research you did?
Yeah.
Star Trek animals are kind of the worst. I mean, honestly, if you think about all the ones we have had to witness, other than ones they don't name from the new movies, they're not real good at the wildlife. It's often like a horned dog. Or like a cat with an antenna coming out of its butt or something dumb like that.
That's right, yes.
It's real dumb.
Or a little pup in a glass container that speaking of Alexander in his kindergarten class or whatever he's in.
Oh yeah, that one.
The little
But it's like Star Wars has a pretty good bestiary, I would say. You know, like lots of crazy, interesting, sometimes animatronic and badly done puppets, but whatever the technology at the time will allow, stop motion, whatever. You know, there's lots of interesting kinds of wildlife, but that doesn't play in Star Trek. It's weird that they do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Hort is as good as you're going to get. Pain. Don't keep that as a pet.
No,
he'll burn through the
I get so
cage.
tired of listening to it complain about everything.
And people will say,
tunnels.
"Oh, your pet is that a big pizza? What is that? What kind of pet is it?" Anyway, Daryl, what do you say? What do you think?
Okay, I don't... Can dipper? What's...
Can dipper. Can dippers. You know those.
That's weird. That's like you'd... What does it dip for?
I don't know.
Water? Lava?
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
Okay.
I just made a nondescript sound that had nothing to do with the song. That was like Tourette's for me. I don't know where that came from. Ugh. I don't feel good now. That makes me feel bad about myself. Anyway.
So avifauna would be like bird...
Poo.
Bird deer or something.
Bird deer?
What's fauna? Fauna is like animals.
Is it?
So
flora
animals.
and fauna, right. Like, you'd say flora for the growth, for plant life, and fauna for the animals.
Yeah, and ava is bird, so bird life.
Okay.
Now, what was this? I wish it was a No, this was a question, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure was.
What was it?
It was Worf and Alexander goes on a field trip, and their whole goal is to see a bunch of weird animals, and they specifically see a kind of animal that they end up rescuing when a fire breaks out, and it's which of those is it?
This must have been a dumb episode because I don't remember any of that.
Hold on a minute. Alexander episode? Yes. Automatic, yes. Dumb episode.
Exactly.
Were there any good ones with that? No.
Never.
Yeah.
Even when we came to the Deep Space Nine.
Agreed.
Gilvos. What a dumb name. I'm crossing that one out.
All right.
Lingta or Avafana. I don't know.
Or Can Dipper.
No, that's too dumb too.
We rolled that one out too.
Yeah.
So this is really what's the least dumb one?
Yeah.
Avafana or Lingta. Well, I'll go with my first guess, which was Avafana.
Avafana? All right, well, let's find out if you're right. Izzy? Incorrect. It is the Gilvos.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the animal they visit is called the Gilvos during the testing of the Soliton wave.
That explains a lot.
This wave damages the Enterprise. Later, Worf and Riker save Alexander and the Gilvos when the lab they're in goes on fire. Goes on fire? That's what he wrote. Goes on fire. Anyway, here's a clip of what's happened. The building has gone on fire. Here's a clip of Skeletor examining Alexander after the fire that had gone on. Here you go.
You're a very lucky little boy. Just some minor smoke inhalation and a hairline fracture of the tibia. That's a bone in your leg. I'd like to keep him here overnight, but he should be fine by tomorrow.
Thank you, Doctor.
Are you gonna get in trouble because of me?
Do not concern yourself with that.
Am I in trouble?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, dude, yeah.
As a matter of fact, you are.
Didn't he, wasn't one of the Alexander actors died of like a drug overdose or something? Or there was some terrible fate.
Mixed Pop Rocks and Coke, I think is the story.
No, really? That never happened. Someone can fill us in on that, I forget. There was something with that. Anyway, Daryl's the Trek nerd, and he just got that wrong, and that's okay, because that's 3 out of 4 ain't bad is the way I look at it. He'll be back next week to try it all over again. He is the Trek nerd on Twitter, and at This Week in Trek at thisweekintrek.com, and the Grumpy Cast. Daryl, now share with us your feelings and thoughts about a little contest for us. I have a theme for it, but I need to know what the topic is.
Is this a Star Trek background character or actual cat breed?
No, we're still in the cat breeds. All right, well, here's your theme.
I don't feel like relaxing.
All right, go ahead.
Selkirk.
Selkirk. Ah, he's a real Selkirk, see?
Can we get a spelling? Not that that's helped us before.
S-E-L Kirk.
Okay.
S-E-L Kirk.
Selkirk.
Selkirk.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Selkirk. Selkirk.
Lieutenant Selkirk.
I mean, obviously the name Kirk's in it, so it's kind of screwing with us that way, but I don't know. I'll bet it's
might be.
I mean, what would be the Lieutenant Selkirk?
Yeah. I think anytime you put anything Kirk in Star Trek, people are going to be confused and think, what is this a Kirk thing in my Star Trek?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so Cat.
Let's join forces and like Voltron. I'll be like one of those cats, and we'll come together and we'll say cat.
Well, Lieutenant Selkirk was a round-headed cat that looks like a sheep.
Damn it!
No, we haven't.
Yes, we got it. That's what I meant. Hey, we did it, everybody.
Television highlights of the news of yesteryear.
Ooh, it's the news.
And are you interested in getting a free sci-fi book?
Yes.
The Life Engineered, a book about robots and post-singularity life in the far future sounds interesting to you?
Yes.
Not sure you'll remember when it comes out for free on Amazon?
Possibly.
Follow at JF Dubeau, that's at JFDUBEAU to stay up to date, or go to jfdubeau.com/books for more info.
Yeah. Killing it on all ends here with the JF Dubeau book.
Dubeau. Not Belle Biv.
No.
No.
What are they doing?
Not Belle Biv Dubeau.
They're not doing anything.
DeVoe.
Action video games make you smarter, says a new study. Action video games may be good for your brain, a new study reported. Researchers found... I know, right? I like the cut of your jib.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Researchers found that these games, such as Call of Duty... can actually teach gamers new skills and improve their ability to learn these skills. Prior research by our group, says co-author Daphne Bavelier.
I'm trying to find out. Where is that? No, Bavelier.
Bavelier. Ooh.
Daphne Bavelier.
Whoa, dude. That's fancy.
Sure.
Prior research.
Bavelier.
Bouvier would be great. Private research by our groups and others have shown the action games excel at many tasks, or action gamers excel at many tasks. In this new study, we show that that they excel because they are better learners. She's a research professor in brain and cognitive sciences at the University of Rochester. This is reported by CBS News. Goes on to say, and they become better learners by playing the fast-paced action games.
Playing the fast-paced action games.
Yes, I'm Daphne, and I believe Call of Duty will make you
seems like a
smarter.
superfluous "the."
It does it not?
Professor.
Yeah, I kind of agree. That's good news.
Sex and playing the video games.
That is good news, though, because I like games and I like research that explores these things. I mean, I don't know why there'd be any bias towards this one. This seems like a pretty unbiased thing. It's not like Activision asked someone to do this study. This is an independent thing, and that's good. Read more about it. It's in a book. And also in the news, a man got impaled on a shovel.
Oh God.
This is a part of a new show. This is Discovery Fit and Health, which is I guess that's a channel.
Oh, seriously? This is a TV show?
Yeah, and I guess this is going to air soon, or did air, or something. But anyway,
World's Greatest Impalements.
Well, it's worse than that. It's like the most awful hospital moments, or
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, seems like actually a show I might watch if it's real. Like if they really talk about it and not just fakery, made up drama reality show. Anyway, emergency rooms. Doctors, those doctors, they see everything, and it takes a lot to make one cringe. Like seeing a man impaled on a shovel. There's an image of this on that link, sort of. Dr. Kevin Clower, an ER doc based in Canton, Ohio, still remembers the day he dealt with a patient who was trying to fix his roof when he fell off and impaled himself on a shovel.
God.
Why the shovel went up me
bum.
bum.
God, the photo.
I know.
Just that first photo, you don't see...
I know.
Okay.
I know. It's making me right now. I'm pinching, if you know what I'm saying. You can see the shovel sticking out of what appears to be the rectal area. He said on an episode of the Untold Stories of the ER, airing November 15th on Discovery Fit and Health. Once again, you got a channel called Discovery Fit and Health, but you got a show about guys with shovels up their butts.
Getting that shovel out will make him more healthy, right? Can't argue with that.
Yeah, fitness we can't speak to, but like TLC, the Learning Channel, right? It's mostly about Honey Boo Boo and things.
Right.
We're not learning anything.
No. What's
the point?
TLC is that the further they can get from including the word learning in anything they do, the better off they are.
It's like the Travel
the History
Channel.
Channel is doing the same thing.
They do that too. Yep. And they need to get back, like Sci-Fi does it. They need to get back to what they're good at. Like freaking the Travel Channel. You don't want to watch a show called Watch Larry Sit on His Ass all day and not travel anywhere. What's the point of that? Anyway, it says even when you've seen a lot of bad injuries, this is really a cringe moment, says the doctor.
Hey, at least you fell on the right side, the right end.
Man. Can you imagine this? I mean, how would you even? What do you?
Yeah, I don't.
My heart and entire intestinal tract goes out to this guy.
My whole body just puckered.
Yeah,
is what happened when I saw that.
Yeah, my entire self is a giant man-sized sphincter, and it just clenched. Anyway, speaking of clenching, no, we're not doing that. In fact, we're going to mix it up today just to keep things normal here. Tweakedaudio.com sponsoring today's show. You know the drill. I've told you all about it forever. Listen, if you're still on the fence going, I don't know if I should get some earbuds, you need to get some earbuds. 33% off, I'm telling you, even if you don't even hardly use them, and the price that you'll get is just insane. You'd never pass up a 33% off thing at the store. You'd impulse buy that right away. Well, go ahead and do it here. Use the code STREAM at checkout over at tweakedaudio.com for some great audio earbuds for 33% off. Let's get on to this.
Chairman J. Parnell Thomas of New Jersey opens an inquiry into possible communist penetration of the Hollywood film industry.
It's Celebrity Poop, brought to you by
Boop, where you can get the latest video game news and views twice a week. Subscribe at frogpants.com/boop.
BOOP,
Today.
baby. Today, yeah, go. There'll be a new episode today.
Don't spell it BUPE. Whatever you do,
Or
that would be bad.
Or BOOB.
Well, that'd be boob.
Yeah, that'd be.
It's a whole different show.
That would be boob. The Boob Show. Yeah, that's going really well and growing fast, and I'm excited people are embracing it. So if you like it, you like your video games, and it's real bite-sized, like half hour on Monday, half hour on Thursday. Real small, real easy to consume. Cool. So go check it out. Unlike this show, which is 9 hours long on your average day. Not that I'm complaining, because I love it. Exactly. All right, what do we got here? We got some celebrity poop, and it begins with this. Robin Wright. She used to be Robin Wright Penn. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
She's the Princess Bride.
That's right. Princess Buttercup.
That's right. Her and Ben Foster, a.k.a. Medivh, from the upcoming Warcraft film.
And Angel.
Yeah, and also,
horrible X-Men film.
The bad X-Men film, where he didn't even speak a line. What a terrible use of...
Oh, he totally did.
No, he didn't, did he?
He totally did. He was like talking to his dad about how he didn't want to get the serum to take away his...
But that was when I think it was a kid actor doing that. I don't think it was him, was it?
I could have sworn it was Ben Foster, like sitting on the operating room table as an adult.
He might be right. I forget now. It wasn't enough is the point. He should have had a bigger role. And the way they treated him, like some kind of freak instead of one of the core X-Men, like it's supposed to be in the comics, that's just dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were engaged. 310 to Yuma, also probably one of the best performances you'll ever see that guy do ever. Oh my gosh, did you ever see 310?
Of course I did. I love 310 to Yuma.
So
that's
good.
One of my favorite westerns of all time.
Yeah, it's fan.
For a guy who doesn't like westerns, that's...
Also, for a movie where you got your Christian Bale over there, he's bad. He's bad. That guy. You got your Russell Crowe. These are powerhouse actors who demand and command a lot of attention on screen. Somehow Ben Foster came in and overacted them both.
Totally.
He was so good in that. Anyway, him and
Bean
Robin...
Fork.
Bean Fork.
The Blob from the bad Wolverine movie.
Right. All these connections to bad hero movies. It's amazing. Anyway, Ben Foster and Robin Wright were engaged for 10 months, and they've called it off. After 3 years together and a 10-month engagement, Robin Wright and Ben Foster have reportedly called off their engagement, according to Us Weekly. The two began dating in 2011 after they met on the set of Rampart. Rampart. Did that come out? Was that a thing?
I have no idea. I've never heard of Rampart.
Well, it used to be a TV show. I wonder if they were trying to redo a TV show and it never happened or something. Well, anyway, Rampart. Foster popped the question in January 2014. The 48-year-old House of Cards star told The Telegraph in February. She's 48?
Wow.
Good Lord. He's only 34, so she is robbing ye old cradle there. Yeah. 34. I would have thought he was older.
Was that an intentional pun?
No. Did I? Why?
Because your name is Robin and you said she's Robin ye old cradle.
Oh, no, I didn't mean that. But you way to catch me saying something funnier than I ever intended.
They did not go together like peas and carrots.
Let's see. It says getting engaged to the 34-year-old Foster wasn't all that different from dating. We felt married anyway, Wright said. We've been together ever since that first date. So basically, they're calling it off, but it sounds like they're kind of staying together. So maybe they're, I don't know, they've got an arrangement, if you know what I mean. If you know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're saying.
I really don't know what I'm saying. I'm making things up that make no sense. All right, and this final thing I thought was just kind of fun. Injuries that stayed in movies. Some of these are kind of hard to watch, but they're animated GIF versions of these.
Like basically when somebody got injured during the making of a film and they left it in. Kind of like what you see at the end of every Jackie Chan movie.
Basically, yes. So there's this first one.
Does anyone fall onto a shovel before I look at this thing?
Nobody falls onto a shovel or has it in their bum.
Okay.
Fred Astaire is dancing in this movie in Let's Face the Music and Dance in 1936. There's one long 3-minute shot, uninterrupted, and she's wearing a very heavy beaded dress. Who is it, though? Oh, Rogers.
Ginger Rogers?
Ginger Rogers.
Yeah.
And it smacks him right in the jaw and the eye, just nails him, and you see it in this animated GIF, just whack.
Oh, wow.
But he just keeps going because he's a pro, dude.
Oh, I got you. It's the thing around her, like her sleeves.
Yeah,
her sleeve deal. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
just whack right in the beak. Now that's okay. But then number 2 is Channing Tatum Channing, Tatum Chunning. So he does this thing in something called Foxcatcher, new film coming out.
Okay.
Character was in a hotel room breakdown, or he's having one. Despite precautions on the set and a plastic sleeve on the mirror, Tatum injured the mirror and the wall behind the mirror and himself. He punched that thing with his head 3 times and shattered it and put his head through it and through the frame behind the mirror and through the drywall. And the mirror was hanging on the left and the divot, left a divot 2 inches deep.
Dang.
When we took the mirror down, there was a hole in the wall. He actually cut himself, and you can see the blood in the scene. So he's really doing it there. Look at that.
Method acting.
Yeah, way to go, Tatum, Flatum. This is my favorite. Viggo Mortensen, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. They took 4 different takes of him kicking a helmet towards the camera. This is after, like, I'm trying to remember in Two Towers what this would have been. They found a camp all burned down. I don't remember the scene, but it's him, Gimli, and Sexy Boy.
Yeah.
What's
Orlando.
his name? Orlando Bloom. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. We can't remember what the hell is his character name.
Legolas.
Legolas, thank you. I kept trying to put an A at the beginning of it. I don't know why.
There should be
Legolas.
There should be a football team called the Orlando Bloom. Be great.
There should be. That's a great name for a football team.
Well, he went on to do a 5th take, and he kicked the helmet so hard he broke 4 toes. Oh, sorry, 2 toes rather, not 4.
Oh God.
I'm thinking of the takes. 4 toes, and he didn't say anything. Normally, the actor would go, "Cut, get the medic. I've cut my, I've broken my toes or whatever." But he took the pain and turned it into a performance. Just went down on both knees and just was like seriously in pain.
Wow.
And it actually helped. And that is the scene that stayed in the movie. So there's that. What's this one? Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. That's a thing that's out now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those movies that sounds like it's a Marvel movie, but isn't.
No.
Like Fury.
Yeah. He does not walk around disappearing into walls, yeah.
Bamf.
Bamf. Bamf's a great word for that. In his latest film, Nightcrawler, Gyllenhaal is a high-strung character. He vents his frustration in his bathroom mirror. Another mirror deal. And he was hospitalized for it. A mirror broke in the middle of the scene I was shooting. When we were shooting, I hit the mirror and it broke and it cut my hand. Let's see. Despite being pretty badly injured, stayed in character while the camera was rolling. If you pay attention, you can catch Gyllenhaal hiding his injured hand behind his back during other scenes in the movie. So he got cut up pretty bad. Had to go to the hospital, get it all fixed.
Wow.
Boy, look at him. He's intense, dude.
Yeah, that is a freaky Jake Gyllenhaal
That's
scene.
like his sister's normal face right there.
Oh, come on now.
There's one where DiCaprio cut his hand and he kept it in Django Unchained. Look at it there. That's his blood. That's not fake.
Yeesh.
Still haven't seen this movie.
Oh, really?
Nope. It's on Netflix now, so I'm going to watch it.
There you go.
Brad Pitt in Seven. Put his hand through a window. Remember that? His arm through a window. Severed a tendon in his actual hand, and that cast, the rest of the movie, was not a fake. It was his actual
It's a real cast.
Yep.
Method acting.
Well, he's a handsome guy, isn't he?
He is, even with the scruff and Band-Aids all over his face. And
Yep. Here's one. Halle Berry and had a struggle with Robert Downey Jr. It's a psychological thriller called Gothica. I do not remember this at all.
I remember it.
Downey Jr. restrained Barry and a little too vigorously, twisted her arm and it broke. He broke her arm.
Wow, Iron Man broke Storm's arm.
I think of it that way. It was a little freak accident, but we're still good friends. Yeah.
What happens to a mutant when you push her arm against that floor real hard?
That's right.
The same thing that happens to everybody else.
And then I guess Margaret Hamilton in Wizard of Oz suffered second-degree burns on her
the
face.
Fire thing, yeah.
I remember hearing about that.
I'll get you.
Oh, look at it right there, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then
Crazy.
Nicole Kidman in Moulin Rouge, that scene where he's holding her in that like dip forever in that weird room she lived in.
Mm-hmm.
She already had a cracked rib, and as she held that position, it cracked 3 times and broke while he was holding her there.
Oh, God.
I know.
Ah.
And she just took it. She's like, "Hey, I married Tom Cruise. I can do anything." And those are your injuries that stayed in film. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got your Therapy Thursday and some emails that we saved from yesterday, so stay tuned for those. Brian's probably going to give us some music right now, and I hope he does.
Yes, this one's going out to Zach. Hello, Burning Legion and Scourge. 5 years ago tomorrow, Arthas got a night of relief when my now wife, Deb, and I canceled our raid in order to get married. Our first dance was to the song Mario Kart Love Song by Sam Hart, and seeing the looks on the faces of our friends and family as they understood or were confused by the lyrics was great. I haven't seen a ton of covers of this, but it would be great if you could play the Jimmy Fallon and Selena Gomez duet cover for us to kick off our 5th anniversary and our first steps into Draenor together. Draenor. I keep looking at that one to say Draenor.
I say Draenor still, so don't feel bad.
All right. For the Alliance, though.
Yeah.
Zach.
Yeah. Now maybe we won't play your thing now, Alliance.
Yeah, now that I read that, here's another song. Here's a country song about somebody killing somebody else.
Yeah, everybody.
This is Mario Kart Love Song. So this was performed on the Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, performed by Jimmy and Selena Gomez, whose vocals in this are kind of, I don't know. I know she's a big singer and actress and stuff, but I think she was caught off guard with this one or something. Original versions by Sam Hart. It is the Mario Kart Love Song.
Maybe she's produced to death when she makes songs and it just doesn't sound real. Maybe that's what it is. All right, here it is. It's Mario Kart Love Song. We'll play it and we'll come back in a minute, so please don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to perform a duet cover of Sam Hart's Mario Kart Love Song, Jimmy Fallon and Selena Gomez.
You be my princess and I'll be your toad. I'll follow behind you on Rainbow Road, protect you from red shells wherever we go, I promise.
You be my toad and I'll be your peach. I'll follow behind you on Cooper Beach. I may take a shortcut, but I'll never cheat, I promise.
No one will touch us if we pick up a star. And if you spin out, you can ride in my car. And we slide together, we'll generate sparks in our wheels and our hearts. The finish line is just around the bend. I'll pause this game so our love will never end. Let's go again. The blue shell is coming, so I'll go ahead. If you hang behind, it'll hit me instead. But never look back, 'cause I'm down but not dead. I'll catch up to you.
I'll wait for you if you hit a chain chomp, and I won't go on if you're flattened by thwomp. We'll rank it together or finish on top. You're my special cup.
The finish line is just around the bend. I'll pause this game so our love will never end. Let's go again. To the mushroom cup
and the flower cup
and the star cup
and the reverse cup. Ooh,
walla 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 Luigi. Thank you so much.
Let's play Simon! Simon says, come chase after me. Repeat my life sequentially. Gonna do what I do, da-do. Simon says, I'll give you the razz if you don't keep up with all my jazz. So don't da-do what I don't da-do. Simon says, go longer and faster. And when you do, you'll be the master. You did da-do what I did da-do. Simon, the Do What I Do computer game from MB Electronics. Do da-do.
This place gives me the creeps.
The morning stream. You have chosen poorly.
Oh, now come on. You haven't chosen poorly. You've chosen wisely.
You've chosen poorly.
Wesley. All right, we're gonna move on now. To Wendy now.
Yay!
Yeah. Perfect timing. It's 9 o'clock. I was trying real hard to be on time today, and look, I nailed it.
You're doing great.
Well, thanks, man.
Keep up the great work, Scott Johnson.
Thanks, I will. I'm going to do my best because it's all I've got. It's all I can do is my best. All right, we'll get her on in here. I forgot what today's topic even is. This will be fun.
Oh, well, don't you have it right here in the notes?
Yeah, I do. I just don't remember it.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Hello. Is this Wendy?
Hi. This is Wendy.
Oh, hi. Fart bump. Fart dump. Or whatever. Is that one the Swedish the speed bump, isn't it? What's it called? Fart dump?
Yeah. Fart hinder.
Oh, fart hinder. Fart hinder.
It hinders your farts.
Yeah.
Speed.
Well, here in America, we call those Beano. Wendy, how's it going? You're still living in a world still in Sweden. Got a van.
Still there, are you?
Got a van.
Are you? I heard some rumor you're coming here to visit or something. What's going on?
Well, maybe.
Oh, it's a maybe.
Yeah, it's maybe next summer we might come. I know Morgan will probably be getting married, and we thought that'd be fun to time it. That's why I told Misha.
Oh, I see. Miss my daughter's wedding, but come for the other one. I see how it is.
Whoops.
Right. But the likelihood is she'll get married way before we come, and it wouldn't matter anyway. So that's the only reason I spilled the beans. Is I thought, hey, if she got married at July.
Yeah.
We could be there.
Well, that's a good point. Well, we'll see.
Sorry, I missed your daughter's wedding.
What's okay? Well, no, we'll see how it goes. It's all good. Now, how is it snowing yet or no?
No. Sometimes it never snows here. I don't know if anyone knows this.
I didn't know that. I assumed it snowed like
thing
9.
Called climate change.
Oh.
You know what's interesting is everyone here, see my air quotes, believes in the science, and there's a reason because they have, they've watched a whole different environment, sort of descend upon them. So it used to snow a lot. Hardly snows at all anymore.
I still know some people who think that
don't believe
because the term global warming has the word warming in it, that means that everything should be getting warmer. And,
right.
And when some places are getting snow.
And here that would be true.
Sure. But in some places like here where we're having horrible cold snap at the moment in a very weird way, or do in other parts of the year or whatever, they don't understand. Well, that doesn't sound like global warming to me. That sounds like global freezing to me.
That's a good accent.
I'll
tell you what they have here. They have darkness. The sun, wow, yeah. So the sun comes up at about 8, a little before 8, and then it's down by 3:55.
Wow. Wow. What's the deal? What's the deal with that?
It is dark.
Okay. And it's just because where you guys are... It's where you pivot, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes perfect sense.
And the sun never goes up in the sky. It's always like hovering around the kind of the rim of the horizon. It's really cool. But you can see why, people drink a lot of coffee, and we got a pretty high suicide rate here.
Really? Is it a high suicide rate in Sweden?
Yeah. So that's what Swedes keep telling me. I'm not sure it's true, but I haven't looked it up.
But it's such a paradise. How could it be? How could there be so many suicides in paradise?
I think it's a paradise in the summer.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. Lots of living in the summer and lots of dying in the winter. Well, Wendy, it's good to have you on. It's fun to have a topic, and we got one this week. I couldn't remember. In fact, I need to reread it to even remember what the heck it is because I gave it to you and had it in my notes for so long I forgot what it even was. So this will be fun for everyone. Here's your question from a listener who we will just call anonymous. No, we'll call them E because that's what they wanted to be called. E says this: Hi, Scott, Brian, and Wendy. I'm writing in because my husband and I have decided that we are no longer going to have any more children. He is getting snipped in April. One would assume that is a snip is always referring to a vasectomy, correct?
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
All right. It's never like, they're not cutting
his
wiener off or something.
Oh gosh.
Well,
castration? What?
Well, I don't know. You never want to assume. It's like that guy in that movie theater. You never want to assume. It says,
we really don't want any more kids.
Yeah, we're dead set against it. All right. I've always wanted 3 children, but we both are 27 and have 2 boys. The eldest is 5 and is autistic, nonverbal, and the youngest is a 20-month-old, and he at the moment has a speech delay. Other than that, is atypical. My husband also has genetic mutation that causes him to grow a tumor throughout his body. I assume she means tumors. Yeah. The reason we had decided not to have any more is because of the genetic mutation, which either of the kids could have. We will not know until they are in their teens, and the stresses that come with raising 2 very active boys, the extra help they both need. This is written kind of weird, so forgive me. I'm not sure this is their native language. Anyway, what I'm having problems with is every time someone is or even talks about being pregnant, it makes me want to break down and cry. I also become very jealous, which seems so stupid because I did not have great pregnancy. I would bleed at 3 months and have to sit for the rest of the pregnancy. I do not understand this reaction because I'm very aware of why we are trying not to have another child. I want to be able to be around pregnant women or newborn babies and not feel this way. My husband thinks it will get better once he is snipped because it will no longer be chooses. I think he means his choice.
Yeah.
Do you think that will help? Thank you. P.S. Here's some other info for Wendy if it helps. So it says this. More info for Wendy. Just in case. Let's see. We have been married for 9 years. We are both the babies of the families, of each of their families. Only have brothers, no sisters. And a year out from getting help for an eating disorder, but never had the thought pattern that I was pregnant or when I was pregnant, and always ate very well while pregnant. Thanks again. Okay. So E facing this thing where, I mean, this is just boiled down to like human instinct. Like we're all kind of programmed to procreate and, you know, keep the species moving at some point. Even people who just go, nope, that's it. It's me and my 3 cats forever. I'm never even going to get married. No kids for me. Even they probably have a tinge of it once in a while, right? Like a little poke in the night where you're like, hey, wait a minute. I should have more, or I should make more of me.
Well, yeah. And I mean, if you think there's the gamut, right? There's people who do not have an inkling that they want to have children. Mm-hmm. Right? Like there's no feeling of like, oh, I should do this. Or, maybe they feel bad that they don't feel that. So I think it boils down to this sort of interesting internal experience that's unique to everyone and universal at the same time, right? So what is it that you sort of experience, and then what story do you create from that feeling? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I argue that we're all, a couple of neurons short of schizophrenic, meaning, we hear voices, right? And sometimes they're our own or they're other voices, and we go around our lives sort of normally. And then there is, you take that up a notch or 2 and it's schizophrenia. So, we're all having this experience where we think something, we feel something, and in order to explain the feeling, we tell a story about it. Or we don't feel something we should, and then we wonder about that. I mean, we have this whole inner world that can be pretty complicated and pretty layered. And, so it sounds like she's going along in life. And not only is she, first of all, she has 2 boys, and boys are energetic and move a lot. And then she has one with some challenges, some serious challenges. She's going to have to, she and her spouse are going to have to spend a lot of effort and energy in their life helping this kid, right?
Sure.
And so there may be some, I'm just throwing ideas out here, but there may be some longing for a neurotypical sibling for the other child.
Oh,
that
I
third
see.
Child.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that, because in their minds they might be thinking, well, all right, well, the third one could be not even speech delayed and could help the other one, and whatever.
Right. So she may be thinking those may be thoughts. But she's saying, our discussions, what on the outside I know is logical and right, is we should not have more kids. My husband doesn't want any more. So really we should stop. We're already in this position genetically. It's a little bit like we know too much. And so how can we in good conscience do this again and put ourselves at a risk to, implode as a family if we can't handle, a real challenge that may come, right?
Sure.
So it's this responsible voice, maybe it's the thinking this through, but down deeper, she feels something, and she feels it's, you know, a maternal instinct, whatever it might be, you might want to call it, but this sort of drive is not going to go away easily. Even if he's snipped, there's still, maybe it'll help it, but it's going to still maybe be there a little bit, and it's going to wear away eventually. So she say how old she was?
She didn't give an, 27. They're both 27.
27. So she's still pretty young. I mean, I have found on average, the women I have worked with, I mean, this is a discussion I have with women with children, without children, with a lot of children, with few children. There is a gut feeling like I'm done having kids, or I'm not sure I'm done. That is so universal with women who at least want children or have had children. There's definitely a subcategory that has no feeling like that, and cool for them. But the ones that do, they really struggle. In fact, weirdly, I got an email just like an hour ago from a friend in Utah who's contemplating having her last child and is like so not sure what to do, feels like she should but doesn't want to, and it's this, you know, it's this battle. So it's timely. And then the irony is that she had a dream that I came to her and did a Halloween party in her neighborhood.
What the heck?
Because I'm sort of into Halloween. And then was talking to her about the baby. And then here's the weirdest part, is a friend here had a dream that she had another child, and I came to visit her at the hospital, and I said, what are you doing? This is too many children for you.
Really? And
then so why am I in everyone's psyche?
Yeah.
It's kind of freaking me out.
And then you threw a Halloween party at the hospital? Did that happen?
I know, right? Like that's a lot of work. But the idea is, I think both of them have kind of confided in me about this feeling. Like, I'm torn, I don't know what to do. And the reality is, pregnant women are walking around, just, they don't realize. I remember thinking, you don't realize the impact you have when you're pregnant and you're just in a public space, because the stories of so many people in that room are so varied. Mm-hmm. Some might look at you and go, are you kidding? You have a snot-nosed 2-year-old and you really are having another one? And others are feeling like, oh, I wish that was me, or look how beautiful she is. Or others are thinking, oh my gosh, that's the last thing I want to do. That looks horrible.
Sure.
But there's so much wrapped up in that, at least sort of subculturally, quietly happening in people's heads. It would be awesome. This is my dream, by the way, is to somehow create a machine that I could take into a restaurant that's like, could freeze everyone and then make, it's sort of like we talked before, but a truth serum, like everyone has to say exactly what they're thinking about. Uh-huh. And then I want it all written out. Like, what is a room of 40 people eating dinner they didn't make, someone else made for them?
Yeah.
What is going on? Because I think, especially if you had a pregnant lady walk through that building, you would have almost everyone have a storyline.
Oh, I see. So you'd want to have, I mean, the scenario would be that there would be a pregnant lady walking through, or there'd be a big, a pregnant lady sitting at a table just looking very pregnant, and 2 kids next to her, one screaming, the other one throwing food, a husband looking all disheveled, and then to get the snapshot of what everyone thinks of that scene.
Yeah. Right. And then have a model who has a strapped on belly walk in and look fantastic and sit down and see what everyone thinks about that.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious what they would be thinking.
Of course they would.
I think there are things that's better we don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's such a risk. That is such a risky move, but I would love to do it just once.
Yeah.
Anyway, but she is someone in that room watching a pregnant woman, and the storyline is, oh, that could be me. And you notice she says, her pregnancies were hard. Mm-hmm. She's basically on bed rest. This is, these are not pleasant experiences for her, but it is hard for her to detach from that feeling she gets when she sees that. And I think it's timing, honestly. She's 27. Mm-hmm. I can promise her with every penny I own that it'll be over by 37. Yeah. I promise those feelings are gone.
Yeah. Well, I've often told told the story on here of how people ask, well, when did you decide you were good with the 3? And my answer is always, and I forgive me those who are listening who have maybe heard this before, but it was never me to decide. I mean, we're always a team about a lot of things when it comes to our family, but it was Kim at the end of 3, and quite literally right at the end, like when Nick was born, up to that point, it was, she knew when she wanted to start trying to have the first one, and then when she wanted to have her. So that happened. The next one, she knew it was 3 years, and then boom, another one. She knew the next one, 3 years, and boom. It was all planned out all the time. Super excited, way into it. Natural births, like a crazy person. Kim just was this machine that just knew exactly how and when and what. And that alleviated a lot of my fears because she was super confident about it, was ready for it. And me over there going, I don't even know what I'm doing, was kind of dampened by that. But then it's like the day Nick was born, she goes, I think I'm good. And it wasn't like, I can't believe it. 3's too hard. It wasn't like that. It wasn't we've overdone it or I've eaten too much or any of that. No, that kind of feeling of overkill. She just got to a point where the feeling that drove her to want to keep building on top of it just literally kind of just went away. Her instinct just went, I think we're good. This is a solid place for us to be. This is where our family should be. And I said, I'm okay. That's great. Let's, I could have gone for a 4th, I guess, I suppose, but she seemed to know. So who's to say that she's just on a different clock than he is? In other words, he may have these same instincts about what to do, but he's like, I think we're good. We've got now.
He's decided it's the end in his mind. Maybe she wants to agree with him, but isn't quite sure.
Isn't sure because her thing's still telling her that whatever that voice is Wendy's talking about is still saying keep having more kids.
And there is no, and I can't really speak to this, so forgive me for even trying, but there is no way to really understand what that's like to have a nonverbal autistic child and to see that as you see parenting so differently. You had 3 healthy children. And I mean, Carter screamed a lot and had that weird birthmark on her head.
Yeah.
But other than that,
she still has that birthmark, but she quit screaming.
Yeah, super freaky. I used to think someone burned a quarter.
I know, it's the weirdest thing. I mean, she doesn't like it when I tell people about it, but she's got this little. It looks like she's been
wasn't
burned.
an ashtray nearby, and
the doctor. It really does look like that, Brian. It looks like somebody cigaretted that thing, but the doctor says because her head was mushed up against like one of Kim's hip bones for a long time, and the hair didn't grow. But anyway,
that's freaky. So mild is all I'm saying. And so how does one even know, unless you've been there, what that's like to think? Okay, not because I think there's a natural course of things throughout history, which, early before it was like, all right, I'm having these children, they're going to work on my farm, right? Yeah. They were utilitarian. Yeah. And then it became, the less children we have, more industrialized. You have now these children are the hopes for the future. And you put all sorts of, you hear a lot of people saying, oh, the baby's just perfect. They count all the toes and fingers. There's this overlaid story on what they will become and what they will ultimately contribute to society or to me. I will benefit from having these children. The opposite potentially is what you experience when your child is disabled. Mm-hmm. It's now this means for the rest of my living years, I am having to care for, provide for, pay for. There's no someone will take care of me. It's I have to deal with the idea that I have to take care of them. So, there may be some of that that's helping is not letting that voice be quieted, mm-hmm. right? Because I think and even to speak to the screaming second child, there is something about my running theory is everyone has one more kid than they probably should.
Sure.
At least we did. In the sense that you sort of maybe hit your maximum capacity and you don't know it until they're all there and they all need something at the same time, right?
Sure.
As you're building your family, sometimes it's hard to gauge. And so a lot of people, that inner voice shuts up because they're so overwhelmed, right? That's what stops the voice is they're like, oh, heck no, I couldn't do that again. So I have this experience when I see pregnant women, I feel so much pity for them. Like, you poor thing. I remember having to pee all the time and you don't realize how the impact of that on your body. And, I have my storyline of, oh, I've done that. And so that door is so closed. But it didn't go away until I had one too many children, right?
Sure.
And so I think there's a theory there. And in her case, maybe she doesn't feel she's up to her full capability. Maybe she does, but she just doesn't feel like that voice has quite closed the door. So maybe the snipping will help. But I think there's also something to look at for her is, what is that story she's telling herself? Is it about the child with the challenges? Are you going to regret this the rest of your life if you don't try it? I mean, that's something to think about. And can you live with that? If you do try it and you have a really challenging situation, is that worth it to you? I mean, there needs to be these good discussions. It doesn't mean that feeling's going to magically end, but it needs to be flushed through before the snipping occurs, maybe, so that you feel like you are, again, on the same page. He may already be there, but it's the two of you together. And that's what's really tricky. In fact, I keep meaning to read this stupid article, but just the title of it was How American Marriages Are Being Destroyed by American Parenting. And
okay.
it's true, right? I don't even have to read it to know what it's about. It's because there is such a focus on children. There's so much less energy that gets put towards a marriage. The children become the sun that the parents rotate around instead of you are the sun and the kids rotate around you. But when your child has special needs, I don't know how you balance that like everyone else in theory could, because they do require so much.
Sure, because there are plenty of families out there who have figured out how to do that and do it well. Right. It's just, but that's because everything, all the toes and fingers are there, and everything is in the place it's supposed to be. The minute you introduce something that's challenging, whether it's physical or cognitive or whatever it may be, autism or just whatever, that changes everything. So now you're forced in this position of they are everything. We have to do everything special around them. You're looking at the minimum 20 years of doing that kind of intense physical, emotional, and financial dance, and then beyond then probably even more depending on what's wrong. I can't even imagine how this feels. It's just it must be sort of horrendous, because at this point my kids are not only old enough but have always sort of been part of the team. We're not really we're not really all right, it's the kids are a whole separate thing. We're kind of all in this together, and we don't really think of it that way anymore, and certainly haven't since they were babies. I don't know how that is for a lot of people, but if, let's say, one of them was, I don't know, let's say Nick was autistic and it was severely autistic, or had like the nonverbal example she's giving, that's a whole different ballgame. Like we're not even in the same universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not. And so for her, the question then comes down to, you do not want to resent your husband because you don't end up having that third child. And you do not want him to resent you because you end up having that third child. So the two of you have to come to a place of as much as you possibly can before you make this final decision, to get on the same page and work as a team. Because there are no guarantees. You can do all the genetic testing in the world and get not have any problems at all, or absolutely have a problem. People with zero genetic record could have a problem. That's what's so tricky about that dynamic, is it's informing you intellectually, but your gut is honestly how all of us really in the end make our decisions, and can kind of live with them. And so she needs to recognize most all women experience that feeling of seeing pregnant women when they still are in childbearing years. It's kind of like, I don't know, a catnip a little bit.
Sure.
Oh, I'm still supposed to, the biological clock. I mean, there's a reason all that stuff is talked about, is because it is a thing. And I think it's a biological imperative that it exists, but it doesn't quite fit with how society sort of functions anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just have babies until you hemorrhage and die on a table, and then you leave 12 kids to be raised in the woods. I don't know. I mean, it obviously is not a good thing to just follow it every time, but it's normal, right? It's normal. There's plenty of women feeling it. You should find some women and talk about it. I mean, it is really pretty common. And that may be something even within the autism community, if you're finding support there, to talk to some people, because that, can really matter. But to also, here's another thing. She gave me a great hint, and thank you for your extras on the end, people. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Eating disorders are inherently a disconnection between your inner world, your sort of emotional self, and your physical self. It's when that inner voice is so loud and berating and unkind, and you actually disconnect from feeling like you're inside your body. This is why often yoga, or sort of those kinds of Pilates, but mainly yoga, where you're sort of integrating your breathing and your movement, you're sort of trying to get your head to be in your body. There's a real separation sometimes when it comes with certain mental challenges, and eating disorders is a good one that really alienates you from your body. And because you're so critical and harsh, and the things you think and the things you do to your body because you hate it. Right. So maybe there's also a piece there where when she's pregnant, she feels good enough gaining weight, like that this is meant to be, that maybe she just feels good pregnant. So it's hard to let go of that as anything she'll ever do again.
Right.
When she's not pregnant, she's struggling with her body. When she is pregnant, it feels okay, and she's in it and safe, and there's this growing child, and there's connection for her where she's just healthier. So she might also be giving that up.
Well, so in your mind, her mentioning that as extra information at the bottom of this email is not insignificant to this situation at all. Yeah. Maybe.
Not at all, because it also tells me she's got some loud voices in there that are pretty unkind to her, and my point in all of that is that they don't really remind her to trust her gut.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So trusting her gut and, I'm going to have another baby are not quite the same thing. We have sort of our irrational, short attention span. I want, right? Or crave. I crave this. I want this. And then what our gut actually is different. It's slower. It's, what is really right for me. It doesn't always make sense, but it isn't just based on craving something, right?
Yeah.
It's, but this disconnection from trusting yourself, I see that with eating disorder, and other mental illness generally. It's a real disconnection between mind and body, and then also sort of a willingness to trust sort of the stuff that's naturally there that guides you.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a challenge. So for her, it sounds like really finding her own peace is really important. Being on the same page with her husband is really important. Sort of getting some of those voices under control and connecting with her body. And that means, sort of managing her eating disorder. I would add on top of that, an eating disorder often is about feeling out of control. And so a child with special needs is going to put you in that place. Having a child with special needs is, you can look at the suicide rates of caregivers in special needs cases, and they're significantly higher than other parents. And it is such a difficult place to be. She needs support. She needs, and then on top of that, to have a eating disorder history, she really needs to be careful with that too.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I feel like they're at the cusp of something. Either they'll get on the other side of the snippening, and go, oh, all right, now that's off the table. So now we can work on who we are, what we have. I really hope that's where this is headed, and not like all bunch of regret and blame. And it's just, we don't know enough about the relationship, but that's really, I really hope that they're not heading down that path, because it feels like they could. And that's a bad place to be. And that stuff usually stews. It won't come out the day he gets snipped. It's not like he's going to get snipped, come home and go, oh man, I'm kind of hurting. Let's get some ice. Honey, I regret this terribly, and your fault. It's your fault. It's not. It's going to stew over time, and it's going to get bad. It'll be years. Yeah. So anyway.
And you're young. That's the other thing. You're at 27. These feelings probably won't go away for a while. I would say on average, the women I've interacted with, when it's either they've had a really hard last pregnancy. Mm-hmm. And they think, hey, is this good? I can't do it again. Mm-hmm. I always had this litmus test. After you've had a baby and some time has gone by, if you can still recall how miserable you were when you were pregnant, you won't do it again.
Yeah.
But you do forget.
Oh, you totally forget.
I forgot 3 times. And then, but today, Pete is almost 3 years old. I can describe how I felt on December 15th, 2011.
Sure.
Like I can conjure the depth of nightmare that was.
Yeah.
And then his guts were on the outside of his body, and like there's just no way I can go back. But again, I was 36 years old. I had some of the biological clock ticking had calmed down anyway.
Yeah.
And I see that it's usually late 30s, early 40s, and there are people in their 40s having babies. Don't get me, there's people who are going to be different. But the average sort of birthing years are really biologically in a certain area. And I think that's when you don't want to see pregnant women. So I would recommend staying away from pregnant women too. Yeah. Don't torture yourself. Sure. Don't go to a baby shower.
Hang out with your friends and stuff, but don't like, hey, all the pregnant ladies are getting together for canasta tonight. You don't need to do that.
But the other reality is at 27, you're going to be around pregnant women for the next decade or so as your peers, because they will be pregnant till they're 40. just any women sort of around your age. So that's also the reality. This is why you have to find some peace and some quieting of that voice if you choose not to have another child, or it's going to kind of drive you crazy. Or even just have a game plan when you do see a pregnant lady. Think about your storyline. What is it that I'm telling myself? Am I digging into this, whatever it is, or do I need to remind myself that this is a good choice? My husband and I are on the same page, or, and if you have that third child and then everything's great. Maybe that voice will stop then too. No one's going to make that decision for you, but you have a partner that obviously it really matters that you both agree.
Sure. And I want to hear how it goes down the road. And we always want to hear back from people who write in about this stuff, but I don't know. I just feel like this is a critical moment for you guys, and I think you've got this. And I just don't want to see sadness come out of this email, this question, because it's not like there's a lost hope here, or that this is the end of your family or the potential of it at all. In fact, maybe it is the best new beginning that you could ask for, because now the pressure is off, and maybe that's enough, and that voice will still and be quiet, and and things will move on. Well, let us know. Keep us informed. Wendy, it's always a pleasure to hang out. Do you have one of your weird little Sweden things?
I do.
Hold on. Here's your.
All
right, there you go. Go for it.
I know what that is. Does the FCC monitor this? Because I'm going to swear.
No, but when they do start doing that, we're all screwed. But no, not currently.
Is it an S-bomb or an F-bomb?
It's an S-bomb. Okay. So, but it is a Swedish word. Okay. Oh, I will get to the F-bomb. That's another day.
Oh, that'd be
great. The S-bomb.
Okay.
The S-bomb is, and this is a hilarious story around it. Okay, so there is, on the windows here, there's like a special kind of insulation that kind of goes around the window, that's kind of specific for obviously the weather here, and is, it's a very specific thing.
All right.
And it's a sheet, but it's shit, actually.
Spelled shit, but pronounced sheet?
It's spelled whatever the Swedish way, but the pronunciation is shit.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Like how winter is coming. Make sure you've got your shit. Like that.
Yes, exactly. And you have to say the accent, but it really does sound that way. So what's funny is I'll say to Swedes, so tell me about the insulation around the window, and they'll be like, oh, you mean the? And then they'll say it, and they'll look at me like, and I'm like, didn't you hear it? And they're like, oh yeah, like they don't hear it, right? Because
to them it's just like saying oh, I vacationed in Boca Raton, and then finding out in Brazil Boca Raton means butthole or something.
Right, exactly. Right. So the funny story is that there were Americans with a Swedish guy, and so the Swedes tend to mix English with Swedish. They do that naturally. All the teenagers do it. It's like a thing, right? Yeah. Pete does it too, by the way.
Yeah. He's a teenager already. You're screwed.
I know, because they speak both really well, and then they just mix them because it's fun.
Sure.
So these Americans were with a Swedish guy, and it was really cold, and they were like, oh, the windows, whatever, and he goes, oh, you need to put shit around the window. These guys were like, what?
That's awesome. That's the old way. It's from the old country. Well, what'd you do? Well, in the winters we would put our sheet on the window. That's brilliant. Yeah. All right. Well, we've learned a little something today, as always. Wendy, have fun. Don't crash the minivan. And let's do this again next week, okay? All righty. We'll see you later.
Sounds good.
Bye now.
All right.
Okay. There she goes. There she goes. Well, that's pretty funny. Whoops, what happened? Why is
Miss Therapy Thursday.
Skype is freaking out. There we go. Why is it doing that? All right. Hey, what's going on? Hey, we do have some emails. We're going to tear through these real quick.
Sure.
And here's how they go. They're emails, and they're brought to you by
$10. That's all it takes to sponsor a segment and usually have the magnificent Brian Ibbett read your message. Flubbergastily. Okay. Anyway, depression sucks. Thank you, Scott and Brian, for making podcasts that help me through the tough times.
You got it, man. He didn't leave a name there. But,
anytime.
You ready for these?
Yeah.
Here we go. Lucas wrote in. Says, hey, Scott, I've been a custodian for a long time, and most people think men's restrooms are dirtier than women's, because on Monday's show I was talking about that crap show that was that bathroom at the Hilton. Says, this is wrong. Women's restrooms are consistently worse than men's restrooms. It's a mystery to me and my 7 years on the job. Not only is there more trash on the floor, but I'm not sure how they missed the toilet so far more than dudes do.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, this I don't know if I believe it. It says there is makeup all over the counters, and they must have soap fights since it gets everywhere. I love that idea. The only time men's restrooms are worse off is of a guy heavy event like boys basketball tournament, etc. And then the women's restroom is trashed as well. Even then, he says, though, thought I'd give you a little insight. Big fan of the network. Lucas, P.S. Brian, please don't let Scott choose the music again. Those were fine.
What did you play on
I
Monday?
played some Best of Booty tracks I like. They were fine.
Best of Booty?
I know.
It harkens back to when we played mashups back in the early days of TMS.
Yeah, before you even started kicking in with the cool covers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So relax. It was fine. You know what it was? I bet it was all the single ladies mixed with the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, I love that. That is my favorite mashup.
See, Brian's got my back. Take that, Lucas.
I would have picked that too, Lucas. So,
so maybe the reason the men's room is so bad, because Kim said the women's was not bad, was because BlizzCon, for good or for ill, is a very dude-heavy event, like he describes here. So maybe that's why. I don't know.
The bathrooms at BlizzCon and the convention center seem to be pretty well taken care of. They did a really good job of
they were great
taking care of that
in real time. Yeah, that stuff seemed to be fine. It was just this Hilton one at 4 a.m. And it was just the worst thing I've ever witnessed. I mean, I've seen some bad things in my life, but not that ever. That was unfortunate. Old ELR friends will remember that reference.
That's gonna be airplane listening for me, by the way.
Oh, good. Well, that'll be a nice boring flight. Enjoy. TSA. Oh, by the way, is it like a 2-hour flight for you, or what is it?
It's
LA?
about a 2-hour flight.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hour 45, 2 hours.
That's interesting. We're about an hour 20 from here to LA, so you guys are.
You're closer.
Yeah, I guess that would be why, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, we got one here from TSA Security Theater. Or no, I didn't get a name, I guess.
No name, yeah.
He says, sorry they suck, man. I have to deal with them too. I know you've been lucky and had good experiences with them. What you talked about is more common than and they need a culture shift and some more pay. TSA equals security theater. Yeah, it's a weird... Sometimes you're just reminded that the TSA is kind of a mess. It's just not very centrally controlled, and half of them are standing around joking and not really checking anything, and the other half are checking too much. And some of them are just pissed. Some of them are just like, they don't even know what they're doing. Like, it's just a weird culture there. I don't understand it. Sam wrote in, longtime listener of the show. Just wanted to tell you both that I've listened to you guys on my deployment, and it makes it somewhat enjoyable. A deployment, that is.
Somewhat.
So much so that when I get back to base, I download like 30 episodes of variable Frog Pants shows to keep me busy. Thanks for all the laugh, guys. Sam. Oh, well, good job, man.
Thanks for what you're doing for
us, right. Man. Because listen. I am no soldier. I can tell you that much. So we need guys like you who are not giant wusses like me. And one more email here from, this is from Dean in Christchurch, New Zealand.
Oh, cool.
Represent. He says, Scott, had to laugh with your pronunciation of Tauranga Lila.
Yeah.
So thought you would like a list of other places' names to try and pronounce. So here we go. Tauranga is how I'd say this one. Number 2, Waikikamauko.
Okay.
Wakapapa. Wakapapa.
I should give you the real pronunciations because he puts those down below.
Yeah, you do. I'm not looking at those yet, so you do those right after. So Tauranga or Tauranga, how would you say it?
It's you pretty close. Tauranga.
Okay, so Tauranga.
So looks like emphasis is on the toe.
Next one, Waikikamkua.
Waikikamukau.
Oh, good Lord. I wasn't even close. Third, Waikapapa.
Now, this one, I don't know if I should pronounce it the way he wrote it because it does include an F-bomb.
Oh, gosh. Is that how they say it, though?
Imagine Wakapapa, except with an F at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. So Wakapapa, but a papa?
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. Is that a real word? It must be.
That's a real city. Yep.
Okay. How about Waipu?
Perfect. Waipu.
Okay. And really, it's a good question. Waipu.
Waipu.
5, Tamata Waka Tanga Hanga Kuanu O Tamati Turi. Is he fooling with me here?
No, this is a real.
Pakakapi Kakamunga Haroa Nuko Poka Arinu Kitano Taura. It's the longest name in an actual usage. All right, so now
He actually did not provide a pronunciation for that one.
you
But I
try
think
though.
you're
You try.
Pretty close. So I would do Tomata Wakatangi Hanga Kawau o Tamatea Turi Pukakapi Ki Maunga Horo Nuku Poka I Wanua Kitana Tahu.
You did better than me. Is there any question? No.
And I was waiting for Tiawamutu, which is where Tim and Neil Finn were born of Crowded House.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yep. Tiawamutu.
Look at you and your...
They mention it in a Split End song and in a Crowded House song.
Don't dream it's over.
And that's not the one they mention it in.
Hey now, hey now. Okay. To me, that's their... what's the band I always do the same song from? Not George Harrison, but there's somebody else where it's always the same song and I forget. And you're always like, that's not their only song. You always get it. But that's my one for them. It just so happens to be a good song too.
It is, yeah.
All right, that's it for your emails. No Cleo today. She told us earlier in the week she is swamped.
I've missed Cleo all week.
I know. I feel badly about that. Hey, by the way, if you want to be a part of the show and you're sitting there to yourselves thinking, I have a thing I want to say, but I can only send it through a recorded voice thing. Okay, let's just say that's you, because it's entirely possible that could be you. I'm going to give you a phone number here that you can use to leave that message.
Oh,
and if
cool.
it's
This is
something,
new.
if it's something that makes sense, we'll play it on the show. I mean, it's not like a regular, always, all the time thing we're going to do, but, occasionally. 801-471-0462. That's 801-471-0462. It's the Frog Pants hotline. Use it to your own discretion.
And be brief. I know that recordings like on the instance get played if they're really short call-in bits.
Yeah, we're not going to do, I get sometimes 5-minute calls. I'm like, who's playing that? Nobody.
Right.
I'm not
But I
playing
could
that.
see, it works out really well because if we're going to do people's emails, we easily could respond to people's call-in messages.
Sure. So I would be happy to do it. Like 30 seconds or less, that kind of thing. Happy to do it. Ask us questions, whatever. Speaking of questions, Ask TMS is the hashtag to use. Start using it now because tonight at 5:30 p.m. Mountain, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, where Brian will be, we will be answering your TMS questions, as well as welcoming frequent every other show guest or every other Thursday night guest, Paul. What's wrong with me? Dan
Tabletop
Patrice.
Games Man.
Yeah, Dan Patrice. My brain died for a minute.
Yes.
He'll be on tonight talking about a little tabletop-y. We haven't had him on for a few weeks, so that'll be fun. And all of the regular goofiness that we do on Thursdays, so be here for that. If you want to support our Patreon that gives us that extra episode and other cool things, you can go to patreon.com/TMS and help us out. Frogpants.com/TMS is our website. TheMorningStream@gmail.com is our email address. On Twitter, find us at MorningStream, at Scott Johnson, at Coverville, Brian Music.
Yes, sir. All right. And I forgot which one we slipped in there. It was that one right there. Okay.
M, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So this comes from Vro Baby from the Tadpole. Dear Thank and you, on November 9th, I had to say goodbye to my best friend Shane. He had been fighting a lifelong battle with a bad heart. I was able to keep my promise I made nearly 20 years ago that I would be by his side until the end. And when he took his last breath, I was standing at his side. But if I could have one thing, it's to hear his voice one more time. So I ask you gentlemen to help me with this. Please play one of the songs I listed. I know the quality is meh, but these were some of his last recorded songs. I also want to thank the Tadpole for all the awesome hugs and love they have sent me. Love the Tadpole, though, Dwayne. So what you're going to hear, this is a band that Shane McElveen sang for. And there's a SoundCloud link if you go to soundcloud.com/Matt-Broughton, BROUGHTON-11. You can hear all of these songs. I listened through them, and I think this is probably the one that that seemed to fit the best in with the show. Let me pull it up here in my list. Thought I had this ready in front of me. It's called Devil Down Below. It's the band is called Morning Blues, and this one goes out to Vro Baby.
All right, let's play it. And real sad to hear about the passing. That sucks.
Yeah.
Seriously, cancer. Can we stop with the cancer?
Oh, no kidding. Well, this was a bad heart, but still.
Heart. Well, either way, can we just all? Where's the Star Trek future? Where's McCoy with his little thing hovering over everybody and fixing stuff in 5 seconds flat?
That's
Let's
right.
get to that, man. We should have figured this out by now. Anyway, here it is. It's The Devil Down Below. We'll see you guys tonight.
Come gather around and I'll tell you of things that happened long ago. Gather my friends and I'll tell you tale of the devils down below. They tortured the souls of the